It's time for Across the Pond Show, where friends near and far gather to discuss everything under the sun and answer all of your burning questions. Now, get ready for diversity and delightful conversation.
Join us every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK time, only WLFE DB Radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of Across the Pond, the show where friends near and far gather to discuss everything under the sun and answer all your burning questions. I'm one of your American hosts from here from Pennsylvania, Matthew. Brett's always muted. We can't hear you. We're gonna mouth the words for Brett. We're gonna read his lips. Go ahead.
Sorry, guys. So I'm obviously your second American host. I'm from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. And for those of you that don't know, I live in a small town called Regalsville. It's about 50 miles from Philadelphia. So yeah, welcome back.
Hello.
Oh, there
we go.
Okay, I was starting to say, you know what? I feel censored. Okay, I'm being censored. My opinion does not matter. I can't speak. Hello, everyone. I'm Brett, and I'm your UK host.
Yes. So welcome to another episode of Across the Pond. Thank you all for watching and supporting us. And this week on our episode, things might get a little heavy. So put your seatbelts on, hennies, because this week we're talking about a topic that affects a lot of people, and a topic that's been really big this year, and that's mental health. With 2020 being the way it is, between the lockdowns and coronavirus and everything else going on in the world, it's really put people through it. So we're going to kind of take a week to tackle a heavy subject, and so I guess we can first start off kind of, I don't know if either one of you want to share any stories or anything about mental health, how it affects you, if it does, someone close to you, how it might have affected you or someone close to you during, this pandemic.
That's just like awkward silence.
Who wants to start?
I don't know. I guess I can go.
Okay.
So I don't even know, there's so many subjects I can touch on in regards to mental health. I've personally been through a bunch of shit myself, from high school to current day. Coronavirus definitely has thrown in the wrench there for a lot of people. It's just crazy. I wake up, I just watched a movie, I believe it's called Green Day or something. It's with Gerard Butler. It's about a big, crazy end of world kind of type scenario. But I wake up every day and I'm like, oh my God, is this really real? And I'm a very social butterfly. I love, before COVID, I was always at the club. I was always at the bar. My friend Kate and I always went out to dinner, along with my friend Matthew, Jeremy, Shauna, Kenny, Logan, all my friend Cody, everybody, Emily. So there's so many people in my life. I was always out and about, such a social butterfly. And I hate being home. I personally do not like being home. I do. I just tell my friend Kate today, I love being cozy in bed and just having my alone time, tucking myself in with my blanket, have my freaking glass of wine, girl, and pretzel rods, and just chill. So to not be able to do those things, to go out, it's just it's triggering, and it's so weird. I feel I don't know if I don't even know how to discuss this, but what happens if this never stops? What happens if we always have to wear a mask, or there's always a new strain? That's what I struggle with, on a daily basis. I try to block it out of my mind, because again, as a social butterfly, I need to have interaction with my friends. I just saw my friend Kate today. I love doing that stuff, going out for brunch, and it was great. But to not go out to the clubs and meet other people, it's just weird to me. And I hate wearing a mask. I will do it. I'm very respectful. I always wear a mask when I'm in public and walking about. I'm super respectful in that case. But I just hate it because you can't see people's faces. You can't see when I talk to somebody, I read like their facial expressions and like how they talk through their body. So when someone wears a mask, it's hard for me to, you know, kind of get their reaction. So I'm like, oh, hey girl. And like someone could be like cursing me out and they're like under their mask. Like, I don't know. But in regards to like mental health, I've ignored it. I've ignored the pandemic in regards to, you know, what's going on, because if I go into it deep, like I don't know where I would end up mentally. So I've been distracting myself with friends and like video games and doing an awesome podcast with two amazing people. I just, you know, I'm not ignorant. I'm not saying that. I just can't put myself fully into the whole pandemic of like every single day watching the news every single day, or just, you know, being involved with it 24/7 really affects you. It freaks me out. I have like surreal moments where I'm like driving. I'm like, oh my God, we're like in a pandemic worldwide. Like I can't leave America. Like that freaks me out. Sometimes I feel like I'm trapped and I can't escape. Like it's on a deeper level. People are probably saying, what the hell is he trying to say? But you know,
sorry, my TV started playing TV, so apologies.
No, you're fine. But I just feel, in regards to mental health, like I just feel trapped sometimes. I just feel like mentally trapped that we're going to be stuck like this forever. And I'm never going to be able to go to the club and like shake my ass again, or I don't know, meet a guy, or I don't know. And especially like me being single. Like my sister was just engaged. Congratulations, Ciara. And I just feel like, you know, in a quarantine life, like how am I supposed to find somebody? Like it's very like depressing kind of. So that's like been really affecting me with like people like getting engaged and like buying houses, having babies. Like I'm just like, when am I going to find my significant other? So, you know, I've been single for so long, and it plays a big role, especially with being quarantined. Like I'm all alone, but you know, we get through it with great friends. So
yes, that's you need, great friends.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's my little tidbit on the current situation. It's rough. It's rough for everybody. Everybody's experiencing it differently. Like either they're lonely, or finances, they lost their job, they're sick, they're actually going through the COVID themselves, the loss of loved ones. It's a very tough time, and I just can't wait until it's over with, because it's rough.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
So yeah.
So for me, it's been a bit of a mixed one, really. I think so obviously at first it was fine, not really affecting me day to day, really. And then in March, suddenly we went into lockdown. I was working from home. I was there at home 24/7. Couldn't really leave the house, and I was just continuously working, not really seeing people. So I was struggling with that, because like Brian, I am a socialite. I am the Paris Hilton of London. That's yeah.
The Paris Hilton of London, I love it.
Yeah. So I'm like the London, sort of London Hilton, whatever. Yeah. But no, I think honestly, it's been a struggle. And then when I got my new job, yes, I've been back in the office until now. So from my last day in the office is tomorrow, and then I'm working from home. But I think it's been really hard, because I've just been working, because my job is because my job's quite essential. My role is. It's continuously been working. It's been non-stop since COVID hit. We went into lockdown in March. I've not had any time to be able to be me and Brett and go out and party and snog a guy and have a bit of, you know, safe fun with friends and stuff, and being able to see people. And it's been a lot more Zooms, Facebook. So I think everyone did quizzes. They soon died a quick death, but everyone was doing quizzes. But yeah, it's been really strange. I think also it's like I'm so used to being able to go out and just, even if it's not even always getting pissed and snogging a guy, but can go out for lunch, or go to the cinema, or just go shopping. Just like, do you know what? I fancy it today. I'm finishing work early. Let's go and look at a few shops. And that's something that, you know, you can't really do that, or on the spot thinking, oh, let's go out. But you can't really do it now, because the rules are changing so much, and what with the rules changing in the UK today. Whereas my part of the UK is on lockdown pretty much, and Christmas is cancelled. That's not going to help people, because you're not able to engage with people who don't live in your household. So if it's just, for example, my Christmas now is going to be me and my flatmate and no family or friends, unfortunately, and that's not going to help anyone's mental health, I don't think. So I think it's just trying to find ways to try and be social virtually. So this is why I think I love this this podcast, and able to interact with you guys and also the audience at home, and to meet people and get chatty, like Abby, who I don't know if she's watching, but we were Snapchatting this week. It was really nice. So I think it's a really nice, good way to meet people and sort of share our experiences. And, you know, everyone's going through a really difficult time. And actually, some people may think they're going through something on their own or they're alone, but actually just people who are going through similar, maybe not exactly the same, but sort of similar situations and sort of going through similar emotions. And actually, we can hopefully support each other. And we will be today sharing some links to both US and UK organisations that can help if you are going struggling. But I think it's really such a good idea for people to talk about their mental health and to feel able to talk about it, because I think especially in the past and even potentially now, some places it's very taboo. You don't really talk about it. Yeah. So ultimately, it's, I've been okay. It's just I've struggled with a work-life balance. It's just been work, which hasn't helped my mental health, because I'm a social person. I like being social, and that's how I sort of manage my mental health, is by being social, and that's something I've struggled with. And I think the next couple of weeks at least it'll be a bit difficult, but it's just trying to think of ways to overcome that, is by hopefully trying to talk to people more virtually. But yeah.
And so, you know, before I kind of like comment a little bit on, you know, what I asked, we have a message here. For those of you who are watching, I know the first 2 episodes we had Morgan, our friend over in Manchester, on our episodes. As you can see now, he's not with us. He did send in this comment saying, "Hey guys, it's Morgan, the #1 British host of this show. I've been struggling lately with my mental health. I will be back in future episodes. Ironic that this episode is about mental health, but I will be back soon and with all of you. Love you all." So it was actually his idea to talk about mental health this week before he backed out of the show. I mean, obviously, we're here to support him and him getting better, but obviously at the end of the day, like, you know, everyone's mental health comes before anything, you know what I mean? Like, because obviously if you don't have good mental health, it honestly, you know, fucks with your whole entire day and like how you function and how you interact with everyone else and the world around you. So, you know, I'd rather him take the time that he needs to better himself and get the help he needs than to, you know, try and dedicate his time to an online show or, you know, something like that, you know. But like he said, we hope to have him back in the future and, you know, on future episodes. But right now he's focusing on himself, and we're happy that he's taking that step and realizing that he needs the help. And that's honestly a big thing of mental health. There's such a, you know, I agree with both of you. I'm a drag queen at the end of the day. Like, my job is to interact with people. My job is to travel to big events like clubs and colleges and perform in front of people that I don't even know, and then afterwards take pictures of them and talk to them and hang out with them. So I'm so used to being around massive groups of people, whether I know them all or don't know a single person. Yeah. Because that's part of my job. That's what I do as an entertainer, as a drag queen. And so it really sucks that I haven't been able to, you know, get out there and perform. I've had a couple shows since the pandemic started, but just not the same, you know, having people distance, and you go out to the crowd and people are wearing masks at a drag show. It's just so weird, like completely awkward, I guess you could say, because I'm not used to that. But I mean, so when the whole lockdown started happening and I started losing gigs and not being able to do shows and performances like that, it was hard on me. Like, this pandemic hurt, like I said earlier, whether it's personal or something, you know, personally it took a toll on me. I was like, oh my gosh, like, drag's my full-time job. I can no longer perform for people. How am I going to make money? How am I going to pay bills? Like, what am I going to do with all this extra free time? And like, I was just freaking out. Like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to expect. You know, At the end of the day, I essentially lost my job. So it's like, I didn't know what to do. And it just led me to go insane, go crazy. I was like constantly like having panic attacks, and my anxiety was through the clouds, and I just didn't know what to do. And I'm such a person who, you know, I grew up around people like this, you know, not that I'm like blaming them, but like my dad was a big one. Like, he always bottled up his feelings. He never talked about them. And I guess just growing up around that kind of like way of dealing with things, it's how I started dealing with things. And so I'm just so used to bottling up things. People are like, "Are you okay?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, sure." And I just walk around with a smile on my face, even if I feel like complete shit inside. And it just got to the point where I exploded because of this pandemic. I wasn't able to, one thing is not being able to do drag, but like drag is also not my job, but it's kind of therapeutic for me. It's a way to like show my creative talents and share them with the world and interact with people and entertain them. And so it was like I was losing that aspect. It wasn't just the financial. It was like the being around people, entertaining them. So it just all penned up inside of me, and I just exploded. And I was like, realized I need help. I need to talk to somebody. And I think that's another thing that I want to talk about today is the stigma of therapy. So many people think that because you're going to therapy that you're crazy or you're weird or something's wrong with you. But like, it shouldn't be that way. I don't want people. I hate when people think that because someone's seeking therapy or seeing someone or getting the help that they need, that it's so wrong. Like, I don't know why there's a stigma or why that's still a thing today.
I mean, I can comment a little bit. It's interesting that you bring that up, especially with like seeking help. For example, I went through like a whole thing. Like, I feel so bad for the people that are like going as I like cry. Oh, girl. Like the people that are going through like they're having like the panic attacks and stuff. Like, I went through that like at one point in my life. Like, I can imagine like the people going through like the panic attacks every day or like the suicidal thoughts. Like, that's like the toughest thing to like have to overcome. And the panic attacks is something I can relate to because like I literally like went through so much of like that bullshit. Like, panic attacks are the worst, and I overcame all of that on my own. And I never wanted to see like a therapist or anything because I always thought that was like, what's wrong with me? Like, why can't I do it myself? Like, I don't need a therapist. Like, there's people out there that, therapists are great to see. My opinion has changed. I can encourage it. It's so important. And me personally, and maybe I can speak for other people, but we just assume like we don't need to see a therapist because that will deem something is wrong. And we don't want to be wrong about ourselves. We don't want to feel that. We don't want to like feel like that. Ooh, sorry, baby girls.
Well,
but
get your tissues out. We knew this was going to be a tough episode.
Somebody else.
You need to stop because you'll set me off if you carry on.
Oh my!
But it's just it's rough. It's really rough, and not a lot of people are strong enough to overcome that. And this is tough.
Oh my!
I think with mental health issues, it can be hard to be able to accept help, and I think going to therapy is obviously help. And I think you have to reach that point but then to reach that point takes so much strength and time and energy. And a lot of people who are struggling with mental health, and not just mental health, but other sort of issues that go through life, struggle with that and actually accepting I need help, or even actually they may know they need help, but actually being able to go and get help. I think it's so courageous, really. It's amazing when people are able to actually be like, I need help, I need to go see a therapist. But then sometimes people are able to do it otherwise. They can do it via surrounding themselves with other people, their friends, or finding a hobby to sort of take their mind off it. Because I think some people, I think my friend had it, and what she did was she just surrounded herself with people and did different activities to try and not think about what she was struggling with. And ultimately, that helped her get to a point where she was able to overcome it and be able to accept help via a therapist and via sort of mental health services. So I think it just takes time. I think it's absolutely amazing when someone is able to accept help. But actually, it's also understandable that actually for different people, it takes different time sort of scales and different times. So some people, it's a few months. Some people, it can be years. But it's every person's it's their journey, and it's just I would hope that anyone who's having mental health issues feels able to sort of reach out to someone and talk to someone, or a charity who can offer you advice.
Yeah. Well, I think too, like, I think that's why it's so hard for some people to like find not find, but like seek out help and go get it, because then not only like the whole stigma of it that we were talking about, but then it's like the vulnerability part of it. Like now you're like literally having to admit that, one, you need help, two, there's something wrong with you, or no, I don't say wrong with you, but like it's the fact that you're admitting that you need help because you can't deal with this alone anymore, and then the fact that you have to go see someone that you don't know, like most people don't know who their therapist is or they're going to be talking to. So now you have to basically like tell your, I don't want to say life story, but like who you are and everything about you to like make that connection with someone you don't know. So you're basically like just like opening up the doors to your entire life to someone you don't know, and you have to be vulnerable to them in order for them to help you. And I think that's another part of it. You have that aspect, the vulnerability of opening up to and having someone you don't know help you, but also the fact of the stigma and the taboo that's around it, that like, oh, if you need help, there's something wrong with you or whatever. And I think that's all stuff that we just need to like break and destroy and throw away and leave because that's not how mental health should be looked at. And it just sucks that it's still looked at that way, and it leads people to, not get the help they need, and then, not to like take a dark path, but like some people don't get the help they need, and they end up doing things like hurting themselves worse, killing themselves, and it just sucks.
It does. And girl, if I have to be funny for a second, I have to get past this. If I ever had a therapist, they'd probably be like, girl, your ass is getting locked up. This shit, I would like say, oh my God. It's just it's tough. It's like, I really feel for the people that are going through it, because post-pandemic, post or pre-pandemic, whatever happened before the pandemic happened, a few years, like last year, I literally had a panic attack every single day for 5 days straight in a row. I was trying to say this before, but like, it's so tough because you literally think you're going to die. And like people that struggle with anxiety and panic attacks, like I feel for you now, because I could not imagine what it's like to go through a scary pandemic or whatever the situation's triggering you now. What that's doing to you. And maybe you can't see a therapist. People are losing their jobs. They lose their health insurance. The COVID situation, some therapists may not be comfortable with seeing patients. Maybe they will over Zoom, but I always like being in person with things. I just think that's the human aspect. So back to the panic attacks. Literally every day after I'd get off work, I would feel like my heart was going to explode. Like I literally get this looming feel of like death on me. Like I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And literally every single day I would go through this, and I would have to take a Xanax. So I took a Xanax. I'm like, all right, my symptoms are fine. I would lay in bed, like still, like I would like lay on my bed flat and just like pray to like what's going on, like to just go away, because I just literally felt it was like I was going to die. Like it's like the worst feeling ever. And I went through this, and I remember I felt defeated, and I'm a person that's like, girl, I love to travel. Traveling is such life-changing. A lot of people in my life taught me that. And I'm like, whenever I would have to go to the store, I'd be like, all right, this is how far this hospital is away. So I'd have to make sure if something happened, I'd be able to get there right away. Or if I was, girl, when I would come to your house, I'd always map out, meaning Matthew, I'd always be like, all right, what hospital's nearby for my, feeling like I was going to die, panic attack. And I'm like, I can't let this consume my life. Like, I'm a person that loves people. I love going out there to travel, and I can't deal with having to carry a pill around to like relieve me of these symptoms, or think about a nearby hospital in case, God forbid, I don't have that medicine and I have a freaking heart attack. Like, I literally thought the worst. And I remember I went to see a doctor, my primary care doctor, and he prescribed me Lexapro. And I only had Xanax as flight anxiety, because my mom, she's always like crazy, and she's like, oh my God, if a plane ever goes down. So anyways, not to trigger anybody, but I always had that just in case, because, I flew out to Portland once and I didn't know how I would react, because it is scary. So I had Xanax. I always had Xanax prescribed to me because of flight anxiety. And that's where I got that from. But I remember when my doctor prescribed me Lexapro, I was sitting in my bed, and I'm like, I can either take this for the rest of my life, or always have to change medicines, or always have to adjust and have mood swings and depression, or how certain medicines affect me. I did not want to go through that. Or I could cold turkey taking Xanax, which also has its risks. I remember I sat in bed and I'm like, you know what? I'm not taking anything. I didn't take the Xanax. I threw away the Lexapro. And I started going to the gym. This is what personally worked for me. This may not work for anybody else, so I do have to put that out there. But I'm like, you know what? I started going to the gym. It made me feel so much better. It reassured me that I'm like, I'm not going to die, because if I would have died, I would have died already. And actually, someone did pass close to me, pass away, and that opened my eyes. And like, that person probably didn't have anxiety, and they wished maybe they had more life to live. So somebody dying close to me kind of triggered me. I'm like, what am I? It kind of made me feel, what's the word? Selfish, having to go through my own anxiety problems. But it's not selfish. And, their death, may they rest in peace. But they really made me live more. Like, they really got me past that anxiety. Like, I don't know what it did to me, but it made me realize, like, okay, like, if I'm not going to die now, I need to live my life the best possible life I can live without this anxiety ridding me from traveling or meeting people or going out the door, having to worry about taking a pill or bringing a pill with me, or having to worry about going to a hospital. I was not living my life like that, and it came out of nowhere for me. So I just wanted to share that story in case anybody out there is struggling through that. Like, it's definitely important to try and fight it. If medicine helps, that's your journey. That's great. I'm a person that did not want to go that journey, and I fought it as best as I could. I do get the feeling, of anxiety sometimes. I actually get pissed at myself. I'm like, girl, you're going to be fine. You ain't going to fucking die. So I have to like bring humor to myself. I'm like, I'm not going to die. Like, it's just my brain being a dumb bitch. So I have to use humor to get me through it. Like, that's how I just get through it. And, I haven't touched Xanax or any of that. I want to be clear-minded, and I want to be me. I don't want medicine dictating, what mood I'm in. And for some people it works. I'm not trying to say don't take medicine, but for me personally, that's just my journey. Everybody's different. Everyone has their own story and experiences. So whatever works for you, definitely, go that route.
Well, thank you for being so honest, because that must be hard to talk so openly and be so honest about your personal journey. It was really, really good.
Yeah. And at least you found a healthy way to deal with it. Like, you were saying how you were taking medicine and stuff to deal with it, and you just didn't want to do that anymore. And unfortunately, for some people, they have to take medicine. They try exercise, sports, whatever it may be, a hobby, and it just doesn't work for them. So they eventually have to take a medicine and take it maybe forever. But like, some people are able to do like a healthy approach to it and do things like exercising and things like that. And, I kind of can relate to you in the same way. Like, and I think that was why I ended up seeing someone this year, was because like with my anxiety and my panic attacks, stuff like that, I'd be like you, like, you'd have those days when like, you could just be like chilling, watching TV or playing a video game. Next thing you know, like, your heart's racing and you feel like you're dying and you're just having a panic attack. But for me, I was able to like, with me doing drag, with the traveling and the performing, everything, I was constantly so busy doing drag, and then being out on stage, people cheering for you and like loving what you're doing. And at the end of the show, come up to you, I want to get a picture with you because I thought you were an amazing entertainer. Like, all that was how I dealt with anxiety and stuff like that, So it was like, I just threw myself into my job, not saying that's in a bad way, but like in the sense that I was able to like, every time I felt down, or if I felt like I was gonna have a panic attack or whatever, I'd do something drag related, and it would like make me so happy and cheer me up that I would forget all about that. So then when the pandemic started and the lockdowns and not being able to see anyone or hang out or go to clubs or whatever, that's kind of like when I like exploded, because then I was like, oh my God, how can I deal with my anxiety and my panic attacks? I don't have drag right now to do that. Like, so I didn't know how to deal with it. And, it led me to a therapist, because I was like, I don't have any other outlet to deal with this right now. So I'm going to need to get help. And it just sucks, So, but now it's like, luckily we have this podcast and other podcasts and the virtual thing, so we can at least still see each other and talk to each other, even if it's not in person. So you have that outlet, like if you need to talk to somebody that you how can I say it? You want to talk to somebody because you want to get things off your chest, or you want to like vent, but you don't want to do it to a stranger. So then you have your friends to do it to, you know, or family or someone, so you can still talk and get off your chest. So yeah.
Can I share one of the most ridiculous times I've had a panic attack? Like, it's probably the worst panic attack I ever had, but it's so funny. Because I look back at it, I'm like, oh my God, it was the most ridiculous situation. Should I share it?
Yeah, of course.
So to make light of my panic attacks, I remember being in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. I was out. Woohoo, Rehomo!
Yes.
I was out with Cody Hurst and his boyfriend Michael and a few other people. Girl, I don't think you were there. I don't remember you being, or maybe you were. I can't remember, but I know Michael was with me. And, you know, all of a sudden, it was just Michael and I and some random guy that was talking to me. And I felt this, like, you know, the death came across my body, like, oh my God, you're about to die. And I was just like, I felt like I couldn't breathe because it was hot and humid out. There was like literally hundreds of guys all around me. It was very, you know, tight clothes, but it was like, so for those of you who don't know, Club Aqua in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, it's a club where there's like a huge deck in the front of the bar. Everyone, there's like tents and like umbrellas and everything. So I was outside, and then there's the club part, which is like the building and like inside the dance floor, and there's another bar. So I was outside on the deck, and it was humid. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Like, I feel like I'm like triggering myself, but like it was just so scary. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I have Xanax on me. So while this guy was talking to me, this guy's like drunk, talking in my ear. Michael is just like, Michael's just fucking drunk too. And I'm just like, la 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 la. I'm like, all right, guys. In my head, I'm thinking, I'm like, I'm about to die, so I need to like figure out my plan here. And I remember there was a bartender that was going around. I'm like, hey, excuse me, can you get me cold water? And then I had to leave them too. I'm like, I need to like walk, because being still, I can't be still when I'm having a panic attack. Like, unless I'm in my bed and like in a safe space, like, you know, my bedroom. But like if I'm like at Matthew's house or Brett, or if I'm like at a train station or mall, like I couldn't stand it. Like I would have to feel like I'm moving, that I'm alive, like reassuring my body, like, girl, you ain't going nowhere. It's just the worst feeling, and not feeling like you can't breathe, and like being around all these drunk people, because everyone probably thinks you're just drunk and like dumb. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I get my bottle of water, I like pop my Xanax, and Michael's next to me, and this guy's just like, where did you go? I was like, oh, I had to get a glass of water. I'm having a panic attack. He's like, girl, he's like, you ain't have no panic attack. He's like, you're just freaking loving that a guy's hitting on you. Or something. He was like saying something crazy. I'm like, ew. I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm actually having a panic attack. And this guy was just like, wouldn't shut the frick up. And then Michael was like, dude, like, leave him alone. Like, it was just the craziest thing, because like, and then they got in a fight, and then I was just like, I need to get the fuck out of here. And then Michael and I like got in an Uber. But like, it was just funny at the time, because I don't know. I just look back at that moment, and I'm like, I had a panic attack at a bar around a bunch of gay drunk men that I felt like I was going to die. And I don't know. It was just a ridiculous story, so I had to share that. But nonetheless, guys, you're not going to die if you have a panic attack. That's what I'm trying to portray to you. I know you may not think it at the moment, but definitely, you know, it's just shitty. I hate the body sometimes.
Same. But you don't like, Brett, to you. So like, you don't. Not that I'm putting you on the spot, or if I'm like triggering anything, then you like, bitch, shut up. But like, you don't have any mental health issues yourself, or you've never experienced anything like panic attacks or whatever.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. No. Like, okay, I quit. I'm out. I'm gone. No. No. So, I don't really have panic attacks. I get stressed easily, and I'm probably not the easiest. I don't hide it that well. So when I'm in a quite situation where maybe mentally I'm struggling, I get stressed, and maybe then I'm like, so I'm a bit like all over the place mainly, but I don't really have panic attacks. I just get really like, maybe I can't sleep that very well for a few days, maybe, or I have to sort of try to remove myself from whatever situation I'm in. The last 9 months, it's been mainly work, where maybe something's happened and I just got a bit overwhelmed. So I'm a bit like, okay, I need to go and get a cup of tea, a cup of tea, and go and sit in the garden with my boss's dog, and then just take 10-15 minutes, just breathe, and then gradually I'm okay to go back into work. But this is how I manage it. You know, I've seen therapists in the past. I've been quite honest, I didn't really quite. I was a child, okay. I didn't quite. So I saw a therapist between the ages of like 5 and 17, pretty much constantly, really, over the years, and I never really used it to what it was meant to be for. I was going through a very much phase where I struggled with my sexuality. That's probably my biggest mental health sort of issue, sort of area, was around my coming out and sort of accepting me for the fact that I like guys and being accepted. So, but before that, I used to use my therapy sessions as nap time. I used to nap because I never felt I had very much. Maybe I should explain it better than that, because it's like that place sounds really bad. But when I was younger, the people I lived with, so I didn't live with my family, so I lived with another family, and they were my foster carers. I used to have a taxi to school. They used to run a taxi company that took me to school. I used to have a mentor who used to take me out. Used to be their company. I used to stay with their sister for respite, which is like where you go and stay for like a weekend. So everything was very much sheltered and controlled. They knew every aspect of my life, from when I took a shit to when I was having a bad day. They knew. And so I felt very much controlled and very much, you know, I can't do anything without, like, I can't breathe without these people knowing. So when I used to go to therapy and stuff, I used to not quite, I think I used to be in the mind frame, oh, they'll know everything I discuss. I'm going to close down and nap. And then when I was 17, I moved out of that home and moved with someone else. And I only went to therapy for maybe another 3 months before I was like, I put my foot down and told them to, like, I was not going back, that I didn't want it anymore. And then finally, I was listened to. But during those few months, finally, I started to speak about my issues, and my school and my therapist. They all were like, wow, like, shit, like, okay, Brett's talking loads. And they all realised actually how bad the place that I'd been in for over 5 years beforehand had been. And that's probably my biggest issue with mental health. But I didn't have anything like panic attacks, really. It was just mainly feeling down and feeling like crap and not feeling that I should be me and that I have to be someone else. It was mainly that, really, the sort of emotional, mentally emotional side, more than the sort of panic attacks, being suicidal, cutting myself. I wasn't doing any of that. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that's intense. So you were like monitored and like this, like, were you able to like go anywhere without, like, were you able to explain that?
No. Mainly no.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I went to judo, and my judo instructor played rugby with my, what they call foster carer. So even that was commented back.
I'm not being silly here. Have you seen the Paris Hilton documentary on Netflix or YouTube?
I have seen it. It wasn't quite like that.
Okay.
I wasn't beaten. I did, when I was younger, when I was in foster care since I was little, I was slapped around the face by a foster carer before, when I was about 10. She full on whacked me around the face.
That's horrible.
And I think, like, I was being naughty, but then what 10-year-old, that confused boy who's going through various emotions and various situations that a 10-year-old child and shouldn't go through, you know, and then to slap a child. I was looking back now, so, maybe not the best, but I've overcome a lot where my siblings haven't, and one's a drug addict and the other one sort of just goes through a lot of issues, and his issues, both their issues, have continued into adulthood, really, whereas mine, I've managed to overcome, as much as I can overcome it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, my thoughts are, don't hold on to that negativity and try to be as positive as possible, so that I don't speak to my family, because I find them to be quite negative with their behaviours and the way they are. So I'm like, right, that's the negative, that's there, I'm going down the positive route. That's my way of sort of overcoming that negativity that could then, if I let that in, affect me physically and mentally as well.
Yeah.
But I try to separate them, if that makes sense.
No, it definitely does, and I'm happy that you see that light at the end of the tunnel, like the positivity, and that's what I'm drawn to. I'm always drawn to positivity. Like I hope that we all are, and that's crazy, Brad. That's a lot. So
I think, like, I'm only 24. I'm 24 next month, and I've been through a lot, and so have many of my peers who have been maybe through similar situations. It's not just me. You know, a lot of other children. There's approximately 100,000 children who live in foster care in England, and so that's quite a big number. 100,000.
yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And I think they all go through various situations, but then there's a lot they actually end up going through potentially very similar outcomes because of what's happened in their life.
Yeah.
So I just try to be as positive as possible and try and talk to professionals, be it social workers, government officials, anyone really who's sort of supporting these young people, and actually say, this is what you need to do. This is what you like. Services need to be improved. This is what you need to offer young people, so that when they're young, they get the sort of mental health support and what we call CAMS, which is child, adolescent mental health services, to try and give them the therapy to be able to talk about their emotions in a way where, when they're an adult, they're not all just like erupting in drugs, addiction, pregnancy, prison, crime, because a lot of children who maybe have been through similar situations to mine can easily be groomed by gangs. And actually there needs to be a lot more work done, not just in the UK, I imagine probably globally, to try and do a lot of work around the young people and their emotions and how they feel. And so that's something I'm really passionate about. But I'm going to shut up because I could use the next hour to talk about that.
No, that's deep. That's like a whole. I never, obviously, like we know each other, but I didn't know like that. That's crazy. That's oof.
Yeah. I don't talk about my childhood, like a lot of my childhood, too much. Just because a lot of it's quite sensitive, and there's always stuff like I don't know. But I'm quite open still to a degree, and I think it's really important that. My final point before we can move on from me is a lot of young people are very negative about their time in care as well, and whereas I'm very positive and I'm very much like I'm glad I'm into care because I am the person who I am now, and I'm able to talk about it to improve the journeys and the lives of any children in care now and any future sort of young people in care. And I think that's really important because whereas a lot of people are negative, I'm quite positive and happy to talk about it and happy to tell professionals and whoever involved, that's rubbish. This is what I feel you should do. Yeah. And to also offer my feedback, which constructively.
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
Yeah, and that's good that you have something like that in England for youth kids. Talking about like, dealing with mental health and things like that in a negative way, and having to see someone and talk to them you don't know, and then. The last part of that, like you just brought up, Brett, you going because of your sexuality. Like I was kind of like the same in like high school. Like I was dealing with like an eating disorder. I mean, this is heavy, but like I dealt with an eating disorder and cutting myself in high school because I was 1, overweight, so got picked on for that. 2, I knew I was gay, but I was in the closet the whole time because I was like, I'm already getting bullied for like. Just the way I look. Could you imagine if I came out and then I'm like not now it's like not only what I look like, but who I am, both like inside and outside of me is being bullied. So it's like I didn't know what to do and I was just like struggling and had all these demons because I was trying to hide all that. And so like obviously I picked up like the eating disorder because of being overweight and then the cutting and because like with the sexuality and like that. And my mom found out, she sent me to therapy, but it was like I was in the same sense that you were in, Brett. Like I was just there because my mom was making me go, but I didn't want to tell anybody anything because I didn't even want my therapist to know I was gay because I was just like in an area of where I lived and like where I went to school and who I was with, like with people that were just so judgmental and bullying and stuff. I didn't want to tell my therapist that I was gay. Like, so it was rough. High school was rough, but like, now that I look back at it, I'm like, I wish I would have really utilized that therapist because that really would have helped a lot instead of taking the negative and the bad path, I guess you could say, by cutting and having an eating disorder or whatever. And like now that I'm, much older, I look back and it's like, I think that's why I don't have such a stigma about like seeing someone now, because it's like, you know, I'd rather see someone than go down another dark path again if I have issues and do stuff I don't want to do. I literally have like, I can show everybody, I literally have a diamond tattooed on each wrist to remind me that I'm stronger than a diamond because of what I used to cut. So like, it's really, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's so powerful. I think it's really good that we feel able to talk about this, because I feel hopefully this will inspire others to talk about their sort of what's going on in their lives and and what they're struggling with, really, and to try and hopefully sort of feel able to talk about it. So I think it's so powerful, and I'm really glad we've done this episode, because I was a bit nervous before, because I was like, oh god, how's this going to go? But actually,
yeah, just
it
like,
goes to show it's a really important episode and something that I'm
it definitely triggers like responses, like especially stuff I've gone through, and I'm sure other people. It's, you know, mental health is a huge thing, and we're all human beings. I'm sure we all go through it at one point or another. Like when I was younger, I had like my family to lean back on. Like thank God, like my mom and like my Aunt Sue, like those two are big anchors in my life, and like my Aunt Sherry. Like I have a lot of anchors in my life that like, you know, share like a sense of dark humor. Again, like humor is everything to me. Like it's gotten me through a lot in life. In high school, I really didn't know like what cutting meant. I honestly did not until I met some people that shared their stories with me, and I was like, oh my god, that's terrible. Why do you do that to yourself? And I was kind of not like born under a rock, but like certain things I wasn't exposed to, and it was just so insane to hear about that. The only crazy thing that I was, you know, depressed or not suicidal, but like just like super depressed about was I suffered with really bad acne when I was younger. And in high school, I always wanted perfect skin, and people made fun of me. Like, you know, obviously, girl, you know, I think we all can relate to what it's like to be made fun of. And I had super bad acne, and some people were like, Brian, you don't have acne. But in my eyes, I thought I did. I tried Accutane. I tried, what is that called? What's the one? Proactive, Neutrogena. I tried every single brand under the sun. Nothing helped me. And I remember my Aunt Sherry one day picking me up. She wanted to take my sister and I somewhere. I was in the bathroom trying to like hide my acne with makeup, and I didn't tell I don't think anybody knew because I wasn't out at that time. So I bought makeup and I hid it like in my dresser drawer. I remember pulling it out, and like in the bathroom, my sister's like, "Hurry up, Brian! What are you doing in there?" And I'm like fucking like, and I remember, you know, going back in my room, hiding my makeup, and then getting in the car, and I looked in the mirror, and I looked fucking awful. Like, it was winter, and it was cakey. Like, it was like cakey, and you could see like the whiteheads popping through. Girl, I was a mess. But moral of the story, I just, you know, looking back, it was so silly because you're a teenager. Like we all go through it, but yeah, we want to look like our Instagram perfect, picture perfect.
Yes.
But the point of the story is you eventually outgrow that, and you know, me to think about the thoughts that I did was just so silly, and eventually you get over all that stuff. So I just want to share that for anybody struggling with acne as a young teen or even adult. Maybe just try not using products, because that's what I did, and mine went away. You know, it doesn't work for everybody, but mental health is just a fucked up.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, like, you know, we weren't sure how this episode was going to turn out. It, like, you know, we're having to be vulnerable and even share stories about ourselves. And, you know, everyone who's watching now may watch later, you know, feel free to like comment, share your stories if you're comfortable with us. If you're not on a like major platform, message us privately. And
or email.
If you really don't want to, or email. Even if you don't want to do any of that, I'm going to throw them up now. We do have to take a quick commercial break. But before we do, I'm going to throw these up now. I will also throw them up at the end of the episode for anyone who needs help. If you're in the U.S., you can go to the National Institute of Mental Health at www.nih.gov. And that's just the simple page. When you're on there, you can navigate through to find mental health services. We'll actually have the legit link to the mental health service on our Facebook page. And same thing with if you're in the UK, you can go to the National Health Service website, www.nhs.uk, and navigate to find the mental health resources, but we will also have the link straight to that on our page. And then lastly, if you're anywhere in the world, you have a cell phone, you can do this either online or you can do it on your cell phone by downloading the app. This is called betterhelp.com. So it's BETTERHELP.com. And you can go to that website and get mental health services and resources. And you can also download the app to your phone from your app store and use it that way if you'd rather do it that way. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to throw all those links up again at the end of the episode for anyone who missed it right now. And we're going to take a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to read through the comments and the questions that we received so far. If everyone watching has any more questions or comments to add, please add them and we will answer them for the rest of the episode. So we will be right back. Sit tight.
Cool.
WLFE DB Radio.
Here at WLFE DB, you can find shows that vary in many topics: the paranormal, the creepy, heavy metal, and LGBTQ and drag. Our shows are your shows, and we want to provide a wide diversity for all to enjoy. So, tune in to facebook.com/WLFE DB Radio. Like, follow, and share with your friends and family. Also, go check out our website at www.wlfe-db.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for enjoying that commercial. As all the shows, as you guys know, we are on WLFE.TV radio, and those are all the other shows on the radio station as well. You can check out, on Facebook or on YouTube. Shout out to Inside the Drag Closet, my other podcast I'm on, but it's on that one. Matthew's on this one. Ooh. Let's go. I have the comments up here, so we'll go through. Liz Clayton Brown says hello.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, Liz. Oh, it is Liz. Hi, Liz.
Sue Quarter said Greenland.
Oh, Greenland. That was the movie I was talking about earlier on the podcast.
Ooh,
Not Green Day.
I see.
Bitch. Greenland.
Green Day's the band girl from high school.
I thought she meant the country. I was like, oh, what's that got to do?
Liz Clayton Brown also says August was a hard month for me. I still haven't really dealt with it. Not sure I'm ready to. Well,
I think, Liz, it will take time. Maybe if you can't sort of deal with it directly, maybe try and sort of take your mind off it. And then when you're ready to deal with it, you can deal with it. So maybe just try and find something. Maybe it's chatting to people. Maybe it's trying to do something. It's really hard because of a pandemic, but maybe something sort of outside. Sort of just try and find something that you enjoy and sort of try and take your mind off it. And then hopefully when you're ready, you can deal with it.
Definitely, Liz. I can relate to you on that. My grandmother passed back in November of last year, and I personally have not been able to process that in my brain yet. So it's definitely something that you have to do on your own, and you have to heal on your own. It's something you can't force. It just will naturally come. So I definitely relate to you on that.
Yeah, I get it. And again, it takes time. Like everyone deals with things differently. Everyone copes differently. Everyone addresses what they're going through in their life differently. You brought up a very good call, Brian. Like everyone that knows me personally knows 2016 was a hell of a year. Almost as bad as 2020 because in a 2-month span, I lost both my grandma and my dad. And obviously those are both two huge figures in my life. And here it is 4 years later, and I still think about my dad all the time. Because again, he was the most important person in my life. So it's when 4 years ago, I would have only been 28. So I was so young to lose your father. You know what I mean? But it just takes time. You have to kind of just.
You know what helps, Liz? Wine.
That's the wine. Yes.
Definitely.
Kenny says, "Love you, sluts. Love you.
We love
Kenny.
you too.
Love you, honey. You little shit.
Yeah. He also says, mental health is a huge topic, and I'm so happy you are all talking about it. Break those barriers.
Definitely.
Yes, that's what we're here to do.
Very important.
Definitely, 100%. So glad we're talking about it too.
Yes.
Morgan says, I love the lot of you.
Oh, Morgan.
Oh,
thank you.
Kate. Yes, Matthew. Yeah, Kate, where's my wine glass with the rainbow and the gay AF on it? Yeah, I'm calling you out on a podcast.
I want one too.
Yeah, anyway, send one to Brett across the pond. Yes.
Love it. Can you imagine me having that at work?
Yes. Oh gosh.
Sad.
WLFE-DB Radio Network says, hello, gentlemen, or if you prefer, ladies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will. I need to address that because I'm really bad at, like, you know. Luckily, Jade kind of frontlines all of the Inside the Drag Closet, but like the StreamYard and everything kind of frontline this show. So I'm really bad with like getting on the shows, and I log on and my name still says Scarlett from Inside the Drag Closet, or still says Matthew when I go to do Inside the Drag Closet. I'm so bad at changing my name. Oh my gosh. Kenny says, therapy is so taboo. People look down upon it, but the greatest strength is realizing you need the help and taking action. And that first step, that's so important.
Definitely, Kenny.
For sure. You know, just the fact that you're admitting that there's something not right and you need help to help you get through that, that's like a big step just to begin with. You know, and then if you can fully go through and do the therapy, get the help you need, make yourself better, then like that's amazing. Speaking of taboo, who the fuck cares? It's your life.
Exactly.
You know, as long as you're happy, healthy, and safe, who the fuck cares what anyone else thinks of you?
Don't care what them, just do you, honey. Whatever works for you. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Literally. My lovely neighbor Debbie's watching. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
Debbie, I love you so much.
I know. It sucks that she lives right across the street from me, and we literally can't even see each other because her husband is, someone who's high risk during COVID. So, we don't want to get him sick or vice versa. So it sucks because I'm used to, like, Brian going over there on the weekend and drinking some wine with her.
Well, hopefully we can in the summer. I would love to meet Debbie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Debbie says, I have friends who have children in school, and they have always been very happy. Both with COVID and not being able to be with their friends or participate in activities, they are struggling with depression and suicidal thoughts.
Wow.
I think it's so sad that it's children. And it's like the world needs to do so much more to protect our children and give them the services so they can, discuss their sort of what they're struggling with and to get the right support. I just think it's so sad that it's children having mental health issues, being suicidal, having those sort of thoughts when it's mind blowing, really.
Yeah, I definitely feel for the children, especially being like the children and like, especially when they have like school is their escape from their abusive parents. Like school is like their only outlet to like enjoy life or to like get a glimpse of like what, life can be. Like I know like there's some like kids like that like need to go to school to like survive because their parents can't afford feeding them or their parents aren't home. Like school is like a way for them to eat and to live.
Yeah.
And not only for the kids but for like the teenagers that missed out on prom or the teenagers that are missing out on like big high school events that it's life changing. Like it's important. It's like milestones. Like, oh, you're a senior. Yes, prom. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna have senior week. I really feel for like the younger generation. Like it's shitty, and it's just terrible.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. I obviously can't due to like HIPAA violations. Don't sue me. I can't reveal too much about my job, but basically I take care of a kid who's autistic, and someone like that who not only is he a kid, but he's a kid with special needs. So that going to school and having that interaction with other kids, his age and just like him, and being able to see his teachers and like there are special needs schools, so like they're not only learning like things like reading, writing, things like that, but they're like learning life skills. You know what I mean? Like at school he would swim and ride bike and do things like that. with his friends, and now it's like we sit in front of a computer every day, and it's like he doesn't understand that difference, and it's so hard, and it's like there's something I can do to like make him realize like this is what life is right now, you know what I mean? But it's hard on the kids for sure.
I think especially with autistic young people, because I used to work with them as well, is they're so used to their routine and they struggle to do something that's not in their routine because they're like, what? There's so much going on in their head. They're like, what? No, we can't. You know, there's any difference. It's something really small. It can be actually, if you walk to school, you might do a different road. It's just so much that goes on in their head, and I just can't sort of get my head around actually how much they're struggling with that, and actually how much it's impacting them. And I think also is going on from what you were saying, Brian, around children, you know, being able to go to school and the parents who maybe struggle to feed them.
Yeah.
Also, young people who are carers for their parents, so maybe the mums or dads are disabled and they need they go home and they look up, you know, they do the cleaning, they do the cooking. Sort of they're not getting that respite away from them, because when they're at home, because for example, if schools are shut, they're going to be continuously looking after the parents. So that's a group that I really also fear for, and hope that they're getting the correct support. Any more comments?
Let's see. Morgan commented again, I cannot wait for all this to be over. My mental health and many others are in bits at the moment. We all need to stick together, pull through this, and we'll all be okay. Exactly. That's what people need to realize. Like, sure, this pandemic sucks and it's affecting everyone in different ways. It's, you know, been here for basically a whole year now, and life has changed so much. But we need to realize that it's not going to be like this forever. You know, as many of you know, if you just turn on the news or, you know, open up your, you know, news stories on your phone or whatever, you'll see like we now have multiple vaccines and they're starting to be given out. So life isn't going to be this way forever. Sure, it's not. Now we have a vaccine, we're not going to go into 2021 snap of a finger and life's normal. But at least we now have some light at the end of the tunnel. So we just need to everyone needs to stay strong and stick together and be kind to everybody until this is over. Yeah,
that's definitely the key is being positive. Like, you know,
I
noticed like being in public, like everybody is just so like angry, especially driving. Like I've never, in the amount of years I've driven in my life, I've had so many like road rage outbursts. Like not me personally, I'm speaking for other people. Like I've seen people almost get in accidents, and just to touch on mental health, like I work from home, so I'm gonna jump ship real quick. I work from home, and for me, like being stuck in a home staring at a computer drives me crazy. So I DoorDash for fun. It's literally the coolest job ever. And doing DoorDash, I notice all these different ways how people are changing, like so aggressive. Like people are so aggressive in driving. I'm like, girl, calm it down. You want some of my Xanax, girl? Like people are just crazy. And I just, it's frustrating. And I think, you know, the world is so mad right now. Like there's so much negativity. And I just hope it changes, because it's scary. It's really scary how negative things are, how many false news reports are going around about certain things, and, you know, the politics and all that stuff, like everything, like just everything, like COVID, this, that is just making people so angry. And I just can't, I hope people just like filter that all out come the new year and people are off on a better note. Hopefully 2021, guys, is just more mentally healthier for everybody and better. Knock on wood. So, not go on, girl.
Oh my God. Oh, let's see what else we have here. Kenny says, Brian, we love you so fucking much.
Love you.
Morgan says, slag, cheer up, love you. Because you were crying earlier like a little girl.
I know. I'm so sorry, guys. I was just like a mess from that.
Totally.
Wine is basically me when I've had too much wine earlier. I'm a bit emotional.
I'm just a very sensitive person. Like, sometimes it's, I don't know. It's a curse.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I think it's good to show emotion. I think it's good to have a little bit of cry. I love a good cry sometimes. It's mainly when I'm watching something really soppy on TV, like either a wedding, a death, something on TV. I'm literally sitting there. Sometimes even when there's a song on and it just hits that point, I literally start crying. I'm like, oh my God, but like, come on.
That's how
I've been on what you call America, like Subway on our London Underground. And there's a song that's come on my playlist. And I've sat there, started crying. I mean, luckily there wasn't anyone near me, but I was just like, Well,
Brett's like fucking crying. People are like, damn, how you feel?
and I do a Kim. I feel like I do a Kim Kardashian face when I cry.
Oh. I just like my eyes get really red, and I just like I'm a mess.
Mm.
Ugh.
But it's good to have a bit of a cry. Sometimes it helps.
It is. It
Right
is.
there watching The Housewives and someone's hair gets colored the wrong color and he starts crying.
For me, it's when the hot guy's straight. I'm like,
yes. Like, he can't be straight now.
It was me when I saw that guy in Sex and the City in the movie. I think when he was in the shower, the naked guy.
Oh,
Wait, Becca, who are you talking about?
yeah. Oh, hey.
Oh, I cried because he was so beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh, and then he turned. I'm like, oh, okay, I've just seen it all. I've not seen it all. It's like, oh.
It's like, hey, daddy.
Oh my gosh.
Hello.
Kenny says, I appreciate all the vulnerability. You're welcome. You know, like, if we can be vulnerable, God, I can, like, not talk tonight. And I didn't even drink it.
I'm stuttering.
But, like, if we can be that way with, like, people, you know, online, like, obviously, like, our podcast is on Apple and, like, Spotify and like that. People, like, all over the world can hear this. And we're opening up. We want to show people that it's okay to open up and, like, you know, talk about things and get help if you need it. So, yeah.
At the end of this, I want to comment. Remind me for my comment at the end of this. I want to say something.
Okay. Liz says, I am an empath, so I want to heal everyone around me. Sometimes I forget to heal myself. I know what that's like.
I know that's like, oof, girl, it's hard. You
It
just
is.
want everybody around you to be happy and like fun and cheerful, but you're the one struggling internally, and it's hard. I feel you on that.
Same, definitely same. Like, it's I've been there before plenty of times. Like, you're just so worried about like making other people happy because you just don't want them to feel like sad, and like, so you do what you can to cheer them up, make them happy. Meanwhile, like what you're doing is just a facade because inside you're going through the same thing they are, but you're so busy worried about them that you forget about yourself.
Yeah.
So it's definitely. Oh, let's see. Oh, girl, this is one from Debbie again. It took many therapists and years for me to find the right person to talk to. I'm 58, and only 2 years ago did I accept that I have a chemical imbalance, and it's okay to take a small dose of Zoloft to take the edge off. Wow, that's crazy.
It's hard, you know. It's hard to accept that about yourself, and it's also, you know, strong though. It like you're doing what's helping you, and that's the best thing. Everyone's solution to themselves can't help other people. You know, you have to find what works for you and what will make you live your best life. So, you know, girl, throw a little Zoloft in there. You good. I feel you with that, you know. Sometimes I'm like, let me just like take a Xanax and go to bed. But I don't do that. I'm just making a joke of it. But, you know, I definitely, you know, it's good to get the edge off. Like, wine is my go-to for that. But, or good friends, humor, like making fun of Matthew. I'm just kidding.
For real though.
But we all find our way through it, you know, and we try to find our way through, I should say. But at the end of the day, girl, we're all human beings. We all struggle, and we just have to find what works for us to get us through it.
Yeah. And like you said, what works for one person might not for the next. And the way one person deals with something the other person might do it differently. And again, whether you're 8 or in my neighbor's case, 58, no matter what, like sometimes it may take years and years to find out what works and what you need to help you through things.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's different for everyone. Let's see. Oh, Kenny says to cheer things up. Oh, good old Rehomo.
Guys,
can't wait to go there.
You have to go. Rehoboth Beach is such a what's a good word for that place, girl? Such a horror town. I'm just kidding. It's such a fun time. It's like great people down there. Good cult. Like, I just love it. It's like it takes me away from life with all my best bitches, and you guys need to go.
I can't wait to go.
Kenny also says, I love you all and appreciate you all for opening up. You're so welcome, Kenny.
Thank
That's
you.
what we're here for.
She is, darling. It's all
taken. Liz commented as well. I have the semicolon on my wrists that I cut. Yeah, girl. It's like a memory. I don't want to say memory because you don't want to remember that you did that before with your life, but it's like it kind of is because like every time you look, you remember that you did that, but now you remember like it's been so many years and you were able to like move on from that and find a better way to deal. And now you have this tattoo showing while it's reminding you, it's also showing you that you're strong enough that you beat that battle.
Yeah.
So yes, Liz, I know what that's like. Oh my God, my drag mother Aurora Sterling is watching. She says, "Hey boys."
Hey.
Oh my God, hello, mother, darling.
Hi, Aurora.
I love that name.
Yeah,
Guys, I have the funniest footage of her.
when she's drunk in full drag on the treadmill at the hotel.
With a drink in the hand.
Yeah.
Dad.
Oh, Kenny calling Aurora out. Hi, Grammy. Oh, don't call her grandma. She'll cut you with her stiletto, okay?
Hey, Graham.
Oh, look at this. Oh, Brett. I don't know if you lucked out because Morgan's not with us anymore, but you get some love. My mother said,
Me?
yeah, my mother says his voice is dreamy.
What, mine?
Yeah.
Oh. Right, keep
Brett.
it coming. I love this.
Yeah.
My new fave.
Let's see. Well, Liz said, "Can Brett just talk like nonstop talking so I can hear his lovely voice?"
I need to take a photo of this. Okay, I need to take a photo. I'm just gonna be like when people talk. I talk so much, Liz. Like when people say, I'm gonna be like, look, this is what Liz said. Thank you. I'll just do my own show. I don't need these two, do I? It just be me from next week.
Girl, we will report your ass.
See you, bitch.
Well, I'll see you on Judge Judy, girl. Okay.
Yeah.
Your mom, Lorelai says, "Love your hat, Brian."
Thanks, mother. It's a little extra, right?
It's like all over the place. It's cute though.
Girl, it's like has a mind of its own.
Literally.
I'm done.
Oh, Madam D's watching. Hey.
That's Liz's comment.
Hey.
Hi, Madam
Hey,
D. Girl, you already know.
Oh. Wait, is that your chapstick?
Yeah, I always be joking. This is actually a really good chapstick. Well, girl, I don't know if it's vegan, but it's Burt's Bees.
Oh, okay.
It's like a lip primer thing. I don't know. It's really good. It makes my lips shiny and full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, from WLFE-DB Radio, guys, Merry Christmas to all. Lots of love, Teddy. Oh,
Merry Christmas, Teddy.
Merry Christmas, Teddy.
Thanks, Ted. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all you've done for us. Since the show started. I know we're not going to go there, but it's been rough getting the show together over the past week. But thank you for all your help. Because if not, we'd be like, what?
People would be like, we ain't watching this
Can
shit.
you imagine? Gosh.
Yeah. They'd be like, this show is a disaster. Turn it off.
All right.
Cancelled.
So, the petition, cancel Across the Pond ASAP. JK.
Literally cut off mid-show.
It just stops in the middle of the show. Aurora, again, Brett is everything.
All right, guys, stop giving him comments because his head's going to explode.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. Screenshot that.
Okay. Yeah, listen, mother, you can stop blowing up his...
Aurora, add me on here.
Yeah.
How do I see? Oh, actually, I can do it.
He has an OnlyFans.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
You want to see my big dick? Whatever.
Sorry, Dad.
/slurg.
I mean, there's a reason her and I are drag family. We're all slags, so that's a yes.
Yes, Queen, look at my long weave.
Oh, even Kenny loves me. Oh my
you.
god, guys, what is up with you?
Oh my gosh, I can't even. I'm done. I'm just gonna put it up. You can
All right, guys, bye.
I'm not even gonna read this one, Brett. You can read it. Kenny
Read
just
it then.
put that.
Well, does that mean then I'm gonna have to lick up something? Am I not? Or
Oh my god. So this is the after show, guys.
no.
Where we all let
Thank
loose.
you.
Brian, let's just start talking to British accents so people like us more.
Hello, I can't do it. Hello, darlings. How are you? Sounds like salad fingers.
Every week we're just
Crust.
gonna talk in a British accent all of us the whole show, so then everyone shows us love.
They'll be like, "Girl, stop pretending. I'm dead."
Oh my gosh. So yeah, wow. So if anyone else has it, we're coming to the end of our show soon. We have about like 10 minutes or so. So if anyone has anything else to add, questions or comments about mental health, especially since that's what this episode is about, throw things out there. If you, I'm gonna throw up our social medias and stuff. So if you guys want to follow us on Facebook, we're on Facebook at Across the Pond Officially. So follow us on there. We go live every Sunday at 4 p.m. EST and 9 p.m. GMT. We also go live every Sunday at the same time on our YouTube channel, which is https. I can never say this right. I'm like so bad at it. But no. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But yeah, okay, you can find us on YouTube. It's https://rb.gy/IQZMSM. It's a lot, but if you just go to Facebook and type YouTube and type Across the Pond, you'll see the three of us there on a picture, and you can watch us there if you're on Facebook Live, and you can also watch the episodes on Facebook and YouTube after they're done airing. You can also follow us on Instagram at Across the Pond Official, all one word, all lowercase letters. And you can follow us on Twitter at A, capital T, capital P, 0, and then FFICIAL. So you can find us on all those social media accounts.
The hell made it so complicated and put a 0?
Brett.
Because I couldn't get a fish. I couldn't get the O.
I'm dead.
It was almost just like, as like anything was a nightmare because we did have issues with getting appropriate social media names.
True.
Yeah.
Because so many people have podcasts called Across the Pond, and I'm like,
they do. It's
like,
like,
do they not know who I am? Okay, I am the Queen of Britain. Okay, I am the Queen of Britain.
Dead.
But
right.
Yeah.
Get her crown, okay?
Get her crown.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'll let you borrow one, Brett. I have some. So let you borrow one.
Well, I'm going to sit on someone's throne with them underneath.
Dead. Okay.
Come my way. Oh, actually, no. You guys have got him in LA, so yeah.
True.
Yeah. You got my man.
Lastly, if you want to send us an email with any questions or comments that you don't want to be on air, if they're more personal, whether it's something like last week we talked about coming out, so sharing a coming out story, or stuff with mental health, send it there. Send it to our email. You can also ask us, to talk about or give us ideas to talk about future episodes. We're kind of just each week picking different topics, so we're open to talk about anything and everything. So email us at acrossthepond11, all one word, all lowercase letters, at outlook.com, and we will get your email there. So yeah, there's where you can find us and send us stuff. We want everything.
Also, if you just want to chat, let us know. I'm more than happy to have a chat and a good old gossip. Like, if you guys just want to hear my British accent, I can send you voice notes. That's what you're into.
As Brad becomes like a millionaire sending freaking notes.
Oh, your mom,
also, like, yeah.
Your mom loves my pink hoodie. Thanks. Pink's my favorite color, so of course I had to get a pink hoodie.
It's my turn now. It's my turn. Like, that's my compliment. Okay, I guess my one's my voice, but
if there's any single, fellows out there.
Yeah, any single hearties.
This podcast took a turn for the worst. I'm out.
Bye.
This is now the dating show, okay?
It's now a dating app. So
we had to lighten up the mood because this was a deep episode. So
yeah. It was. Thank you all for watching and getting heavy with us for a minute and discussing such a tough and deep subject. And now we have time to just laugh at each other and have fun. That's what I think about the show.
We don't struggle with laughing at you both. I don't.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you got the ring light so I can see your face better to really critique how ugly you are.
Yeah, well, Even surgery couldn't fix your face. So.
Before the library gets out of control, I did want to put up Liz commented, and she said, "Don't forget the text hotline. Text hello to 741-741." So yes,
we're gonna be placing these on the Facebook pages as well. So check out our Facebook page, and we'll have links that are really easy to access. So check that out.
And if you guys want us to talk about something like a subject, send it to our email or tag us on something, or tag us wherever. Like if you want, like, hey, I want these three to talk about this. Like, girl, tag us in it or send us an email. Yes. I know. What next week's what, the 27th, right?
27th. Yeah.
Yes. Tune in, guys, because I'll be talking about our. I can't talk. About our agenda episode, whatever it's,
Oh yes.
Yeah, you'll find out next week what next week's agenda is.
Yeah. Brian's in charge of picking next week's topic, so we're all in danger. You're all in danger.
We're all in danger of getting canceled with my subject next week.
Yes. So your mom, Brian said, guys need a social media manager.
So we do. We all share the social medias currently. So I do Twitter and a little bit of Instagram. Brian does mainly Instagram.
I don't believe it.
Huh?
We kind of all take turn. We kind of all run, like, so I do the Facebook. Jeremy, my husband, does the YouTube. Brett does the Twitter, and Brian does the Instagram.
When I don't beat him to it. It's because I'm always on Instagram. It's just like, if I'm going to post on here, I might as well post on there as well.
No, Brett is actually very useful. That's why I called him out. That's why I was like, because
yeah.
But it's good because I'm literally always busy. Like, my life is like, it's always on the run. I'm always out the door. I'm always doing this, that. So Brett, it's actually very appreciated that you help me out.
That's right. I normally do it during like during my lunch, or during like when I've got 2 minutes spare between meetings. I'm like, quick Instagram post, quick Twitter post. But like, guys, definitely check out our Instagram and Twitter pages.
Yes, give us a follow
and subscribe. Subscribe to our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Yeah, and listen to our podcast. If you can't, for some reason, tune in live, listen to them on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere.
Yeah,
pretty much everywhere.
Spotify now. Like, that's so crazy. Definitely find us
famous.
Across the Pond officially, right?
Wait, I'm going to pop this up real quick here.
Wait, don't listen to me, guys. I believe it's Across the Pond official, not officially.
Yes. So you can, whether you use Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google, whatever you use to find your podcasts, you can find us at Across the Pond Official. So, we are on there. Like I said, we're live every weekend from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. EST and 9 to 10:30 p.m. GMT. If you want to watch live, if you missed the episode and you still want to watch live, all episodes will be put on our YouTube and Facebook page. And then if you want to watch, if you don't want to watch, you want to listen, you love podcasts, that's awesome as well. Check us out.
Definitely.
And so I'm going to, one more time, I'm going to throw up the websites where you can go to, whether in the US or the UK, to reach out to someone if you need help, you need someone to talk to, you're struggling with something. If you're in the US, you can go to the National Institute of Mental Health, which is www.nih.nih.gov, and then you can navigate your way through there to find the links for the mental health. But we will have the direct link on our Facebook page either after the episode or by tomorrow. If you're in the UK, you can go to the National Health Service, www.nhs.uk, and again, navigate your way to find the mental health resources. But we will also have that link on our Facebook page shortly. And then no matter where you are in the world, whether you want to do it online or you want to do it on your phone as an app, betterhelp.com, which is BETTERHELP.com. You can go there and you can, like I said, do it online, or you can do it on your app. And all those are resources available to everyone all over the world. If you need help, if you're struggling with something, if you need to talk to somebody, don't be afraid to reach out to somebody and get the help you need. It's better to speak to someone than to bottle it in, and it's better to be healthy about it and talk to someone instead of taking, a negative route and doing something to harm yourself or someone else. So, yeah.
It's definitely good to get stuff off your chest. I recently went through something where, I had some things bottled up, and I went to the person and I spoke to them about it. I texted them like, hey, this is on my mind. Can we work through this? It's always good to get it out off your chest, because if you allow something to pent up, you'll either hurt yourself or you're just going to regret saying a bunch of stupid stuff. So it's always important to definitely take a deep breath. We're all human beings. And if you're comfortable enough, be like, hey, I really need to talk about something I'm struggling mentally with. Can you please just listen to me talk? And it's so good getting that off your chest, because like, oh my God, I can breathe now. Regardless of the situation, if you're thinking of something and you need to get off your chest because it's hurt, like it's just pent up, it's always good to just get it out. Talk to somebody that you trust, and whether it be a best friend, like someone that that you can go to, it's a safe space, And if you want to talk to any of us, we're here for you. I know I'm here. If anybody ever needs to reach out, I'm always here. I'll try to cheer you up, give you the best advice that I can, and hopefully I can leave you with a smile, or at least some sort of great advice.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're coming to the end of the show now. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who watched this show, watches all of our shows, who supports us by following us on social media, by commenting and asking us questions, interacting with us on our shows. It means a lot to us. The show's still new. This is only episode 3, so we're still working on things.
Still working there.
Yeah, and getting everything together. But if you all have anything, like I said, that you want us to talk about, you want us to address, you can send it to us on our social medias. You can email it to us. And with that being said, it's time for last thoughts. Brian, would you like to say anything to the viewers?
Again, if you're struggling, you're not alone. I know everyone says that all the time, but literally you're not alone. Millions of people go through it. It's human nature. At this point, I feel it's just natural as a human to go through any sort of thing mentally. Reach out to somebody that you trust, that you love. If you don't have that, reach out to someone or something, or the helplines, or us, or something. Just to get it off your chest. Definitely, it's always good to like talk to somebody. It will make you feel better, and you could get very useful advice. So definitely hang in there. It's very difficult times, but remain strong. The best is yet to come.
Yes.
And for me, it's basically, thank you so much for watching. We love you. We love the way you engage with us. We love getting to know you, and we just hope that the stuff that we've discussed tonight helps you, and that we've said a few times, we're here. Message us, email us. Really happy to have a chat, even if it's just to maybe just have a chat, and maybe not about what any sort of the issues you're going through, but to maybe try and distract you from it. So drop us a message, and thank you. And look out for yourself, make time for yourself. If that's maybe anything, doing an activity, or maybe cooking, or seeing friends, or virtually, or whatever. Just take time for yourself and breathe, and just look after yourself. And because if you don't look after yourself, you're not going to be able to work or just live life. So just make sure you take time for yourself, breathe, maybe do something that you enjoy, and then take care, and see you next week.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, first of all, thank you to both of you, Brett and Brian. You guys are amazing. I love doing the show with you guys, and it wouldn't be the same without you. Thank you to Ted and all of WLFE-DB Radio for giving us the opportunity to be part of your radio station and help us put our podcasts out there to everyone to listen to. To the viewers and people who support us by following us and watching every week, thank you so much. The show obviously wouldn't happen without you. And then, lastly, since we talked about mental health, if you need someone to talk to, you need someone to help you, you need someone to get you through something, all of us are here to listen to you. You can message us privately, email us, message us on our social medias, or if you're not comfortable talking to one of us and you need to actually see a licensed, therapist, there's the resources we're going to have listed on our social media page that you can reach out to somebody. Be safe, be healthy, take care of yourself and your mental health, be kind to one another. We will get through all of this. And wash your hands, wear your mask, and distance until further notice. I know I say it all the time, but obviously this is life right now. So have a good night, everybody, and we will see you next Sunday for our next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.